Now, it all sort of began after that devastating defeat at home to Arsenal a couple of weekends ago. Then it's just been reinforced more after West Ham's defeat away from home at Nottingham Forest last weekend. It seems like it's becoming West Ham fans versus the media currently, and it's quite tiring, actually. In this video, I'm going to discuss who is right. Is anybody right? Is everybody entitled to their opinion? Have the media been condescending towards West Ham fans by basically saying that we're not allowed to have our opinion about our manager, about our football club? That's what I'm going to discuss. I hope you are all well. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Yeah, we've entered some sort of unprecedented territory here, where certainly as a fan who has a voice and an outlet to voice my opinion, it seems like we're just getting belittled a little bit. You know, that's not me. I haven't had abuse or criticism too much about my views over the last couple of weeks about the managerial position at West Ham. From my experience personally, I've actually had opposition fans and other fans from other clubs in the Premier League agreeing with me and saying, do you know what? I don't know why the media are being so silly about this and, not allowing you your opinion. And look, I think it stemmed for quite a while, and then I think it sort of reached the boiling point a couple of days ago where Nikki from West Ham Fan TV gave an interview to TalkSport and predominantly Jeff Stelling, where, listen, I've got huge respect for Jeff Stelling. He's one of my broadcasting idols in that sense. But listen, the way he went about that interview annoyed me a little bit. And I've lost just a little bit of respect for Jeff in that sense, because, I mean, when they were discussing Moyes and his managerial position and just West Ham as a whole, just seemed to be a little bit condescending about Nicky's opinion, of which is most of our opinions, is that, listen, we don't want to carry on like this. We shouldn't, we are allowed to have ambition. And it seems like by the media, we're just being denied that at this current moment in time. And listen, Bournemouth went through a similar stage where they let go Gary O'Neill, got absolute pelters from the media. They all said Iraola, was going to be sacked by Christmas, and they're now flourishing, playing some really nice football, and the Bournemouth fans are happy. And now the press and media are lauding Andoni Iraola. And look, I don't think it's out of the huge realms of possibility that West Ham fans are allowed to have a little bit of ambition, allowed to dream a little bit more. We finished 6th and 7th in the league, 2 of our last 3 seasons. So why can't we have that bit of ambition to go, you know what, we want to be there again. We want to push those sides and be around the big boys for years to come. And we can all recognise and we can all understand that David Moyes isn't going to get us there. David Moyes has a ceiling as a football manager, and we've learnt the hard way over the last couple of years. It hasn't been pretty at times, and yes, all the media can bring out the cliches. You finish 6th, you finish 7th, you've got to a European semi-final, you were in a relegation battle when he came in, you won the Conference League, you're in 6th, you're in 7th, you're in 8th, we're now in 9th, and we're dropping like a stone. All of those cliches can come out, and the fact that I can just reel all those off willy-nilly like that, I think epitomises just the opinion and the narrative that the media are just trying to drive currently for West Ham. And it is annoying me, and it's annoying, I'd say, probably 90% of the West Ham fan base, because I'd say 90% of West Ham fans are Moyes out and want a change, a drastic change to the philosophy and ambition of the football club. And it's just sort of striking me as quite bizarre that the media are almost, they're not denying anything, but they're just criticising us for daring to criticise David Moyes. Now, listen, all these people who are, backing Moyes, they don't have any affiliation to him. Some of them may know him, or some of them may be his mate. I don't know, but listen, we are allowed our opinion. Yes, they're allowed their opinion as well, but it's just the manner that things have been, have been suggested and conveyed. It's that we're not allowed to think this and we're not allowed to think that, and it's ridiculous. And we've been criticised, and we've had some real condescending statements put out about the fan base as a whole, which tarnishes us, but I also think tarnishes the media in that sense as well, because I've seen Newcastle fans and all fans from all clubs say, you know what, fair play to it. If they want to do that, let them do that. I just haven't seen for quite a while, or certainly ever at West Ham, I've never seen such a media backlash for an opinion, an honestly held opinion by the majority of a fan base, and it's West Ham's fan base. And look, I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment. Listen, if I had the decision now to sack David Moyes or keep him, I'm afraid I'm going to sack him. because I can't see where he's going. He's not a progressive manager, and he's taken us as far as he can take us. And look, we can thank him for what he's done. We've done it endlessly, and I think we will forever be in debt for those European adventures that David Moyes has taken us on. But at the end of the day, you could say all good things have got to come to an end. And there's been a really big stint of David Moyes' second tenure at West Ham, which hasn't been good. We finished 6th, 7th and 14th, but listen, if we're being honest, European success and decent results in Europe have massively looked over and sort of brushed under the carpet some really, really poor form in the league. And yeah, we've had a little bit of good form this season. You know, we were playing the way Moyes wanted to play in this, and it wasn't exciting at all. I suppose you would call it good form, but luck was always going to run out. We were playing a very risky game, and evidently it's now, our luck has ran out, and we're now a club that we're not in disarray as a football club, because that's too strong of a term to use. But in terms of on the pitch at the moment, we haven't won a game for nearly 2 months. It's approaching 2 months. 28th of December was the last time West Ham won a football match in any competition. That's not good enough. We're now on the 21st of February, a week today. If we don't beat Brentford next week, it'll be over a month, over 2 months since we've won a football match. We can't be having that. As a club that wants to push the big boys, as a club that wants to push forward and be aspirational and try and get ourselves back into those European places again, that is just simply unacceptable. And listen, I think that's unacceptable for any West Ham team to lose that many games. We haven't won in 8. Is it 8 or 9? Well, it will certainly be approaching 9, because believe me, I don't think we'll beat Brentford next week. And that's really sad. That's a sad thing for me to say. And look, I don't ever like to predict West Ham to lose, but I'm being totally honest when I say I can't see any other result than a loss on Monday night, which is quite hard to actually say, but that's my honest opinion. Look, Paqueta's not going to be back, we're hearing, so I don't hold much hope. And to be fair, if you are holding hope, fair play to you, because I don't know where you're getting it from, because we have no ounce of confidence in this squad. The morale must be on the floor. I think it's been quite clear over the last couple of weeks that David Moyes has lost this dressing room. The heads have down, the body language has been really, really poor. And can you blame these players for not wanting to play this style of football? And then after every defeat, and it seems inevitable, the defeats keep coming, we then get criticised as a fan base for wanting better. Be careful what you wish for. You're 9th, you're this, you're that. Honestly, and then the old cliche of, would you rather play expansive football and be in a relegation battle, or be playing the football that we are now, that isn't a pretty style, but be in the top half of the table? Why have we got to change that? Why have we got to commit that? Why? That's a silly scenario that has been brought up on so many occasions. Why have we got to go and say, look, why can't we have both? Why can't we play good football and be in the top half of the league? Is that not too much to ask for? Are we not allowed that? It just seems like we've been called entitled, we've been called stubborn, we've been called all sorts of names by fans and pundits who watch West Ham once a month maybe, which is just incredibly infuriating. I could guarantee you, if these pundits, Nicky was brilliant at what he said to Jeff. He said, look, I'll buy you a ticket for the next couple of games. You come and watch West Ham, and then let's talk about it in a month's time and see whether your opinion changes. Because I can guarantee that if these pundits who are criticising West Ham fans about wanting David Moyes out of this football club watched the next 3 West Ham United games, I think their opinion would change. That's what I think. I think their opinion would change, because they watch West Ham when they're on the telly once a month, and they've seen all the good results, and it's massively clouded over some really, really poor performances as well. We should have lost a lot more this season, but we've just been lucky in some games. We've nicked the odd goal, or we've had a decision go our way, or we've just been lucky overall to pick something up. And look, if we were to be a little bit more unfortunate in terms of injuries, then I think our season would have already fallen apart, because we've been let off relatively easy with injuries compared to some clubs in the league this year. There's been absolute crises in some clubs in terms of injuries. We haven't had that, which is lucky, because we've let go players in January, and it just seems like, I can't speak for a whole fan base, but I speak from my opinion, and people that I speak to, is just that we're just bored and tired and fed up, and and want a change and want a direction as a football club. Listen, we are a big club. We've got a very big following. We've got the most amount of season tickets in the whole league. I think percentage to attendance. I think we are very near the top of that list if we're not top. And listen, we are a big club. You know, you could argue we're not as big as the big six, but we're a club that has established ourselves over the last couple of seasons to be a European club and to be a club that can push the big boys. And I know that's down to David Moyes, but I thought Roy Hodgson's statement was quite classy when he left Crystal Palace, acknowledging that he needed to step aside for the progression of the football club. And that's exactly the same scenario here with David Moyes. He needs to just step aside and recognise that for the club to move forward in a positive manner, it's not under his tenure. It's not under his leadership. We need an exciting and expansive. With these players we've got in the squad, Moyes is not utilising them to the best of their ability. And that is the most painful part of it. The squad is structured. The whole backroom stuff, everything is structured about this low block defensive style. That's going to be ripped apart. I'm sorry. If we're going to compete, it all needs to be ripped apart. And this is what these pundits can't seem to understand when they watch West Ham on Sky once every month and see we do okay. And they concede that, we're not playing a good style of football. But then all the cliches are piled on. 6th, 7th, Conference League, semi-final of the Europa League. It's getting tiresome. And the frustration, and the whole reason I've made this video is that I don't understand why the media can't just let us have our opinion. You know, if you disagree with it, fine, disagree with it. But you don't have to A, watch this crap every week, and B, you know, you're not a fan. Realistically, you're not in the same position as us. You're looking from the outside in on paper for what's happening, but football isn't played on paper. And I just think that the media as a whole could just do for their own good, just to take a step back and just let West Ham fans have their own opinion about their own football club. We pay a lot of money to watch this team, so we damn right have earned the the right to have an opinion and to express our opinion and want the best for our football club. And listen, when you've got the majority of a fan base saying one thing, typically it's probably right. And, you know, you've got all the pundits, and you could argue that for the pundits. All the pundits are saying the same thing, so they could be right. But look, we're the fans of this football club, and I think personally the majority are in favour of a change, and I'm just finding it, you know, completely bizarre to why the media are rejecting that and denying that and calling that out as utter lunacy. But put your thoughts into the comment section down below. What do you think of this ongoing debacle? I think it is, because it is just quite bizarre, to be honest. And look, where you've got West Ham fans going on these channels and stations and being publicly called out for an honestly held opinion about their own football club, I think is absolutely damning. I think it's quite ridiculous, actually. But look, thanks for watching. Comment your ones. You agree, disagree, thoughts into the comment section down below. Have a good chat down there, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Until the next one, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.